Reus in die Mitte! Wir machen rein! Tor! 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 Hello everybody, welcome back to the Michael Talks Football channel. It was a enthralling UCL week where we had goalkeepers scored, we saw crazy high scoring lines, and also Arsenal are back in the Champions League. And Real Sociedad. Shout out to Real Sociedad. Unbelievable atmosphere they created their home game. But if you're watching on replay, give your thoughts in the comments down below of your team, whether it's Red Star Belgrade and how you guys went into a 1-0 lead at halftime at Etihad Stadium. You can talk about Antwerp getting absolutely destroyed. You can talk about Peter Bosz being absolutely naive and just thinking to himself, I'm arrogant. I can go toe-to-toe with Arsenal. And he got absolutely whooped. So, give your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit the like button. We should be hitting at least 45 likes. And as we do on the Michael Talks Football channel, people, we review every game. We're not just doing Arsenal. We're not just doing Barcelona. We're doing Sevilla Lens. We're doing Shakhtar Donetsk and Porto. We're reviewing every game and then looking at the groups and how we're going to go. So, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Ian. Shout out to Norat. It's confirmed now. Nice. Big up to Freemind. Yep. Get the UCL emojis if you're a member. Shout them out. Big up to Ian. Big up to Saviour. Big up to Hans. Big up to Jeff. Hi, Michael. Don't worry. I'm going to control myself for today. Hopefully you control yourself, Jeff. Don't get too crazy. Don't get too crazy in the chat. But everybody, we're going to be here for about an hour because I'm going to head to the Conference League game soon for my team Hoiko. Let's get straight into it. We're going to start with the fixtures that happened Tuesday and then work ourselves up to Wednesday's games. All right. Big up, Doug. How you doing as well? So Barca, obviously you can see in the title, people, I did put Arsenal, and I was going to call them Barcelona. Arsenal and Barcelona, impressive wins. And I thought Barcelona, again, you know, what they did over the weekend, beating Betis 5-0, and then they just destroyed Antwerp. Okay. First off, Mark van Bommel and Antwerp, they just thought to themselves, yes, we can go to Barcelona, we can play football, and then they just got absolutely destroyed. I mean, absolutely destroyed. I mean, I thought Wijndal, the left back, had a difficult day. Even Alderweireld, the center back, he had a difficult day. So, look, I think for Antwerp, they were never going to get a result. It would have been one of the biggest shocks in UCL history had Antwerp gotten a result here. But I would be expecting a bit more. But they have to get those home victories over Shakhtar and Porto. That is the main thing for Antwerp. For Barca, can't lie. You know, I was a little bit hesitant about João Felix going to Barcelona. I said, you know what? He was pushing for the move. He wanted to make the move. He needs to prove himself. He talked a big game. I gave the interview to Fabrizio. For now, he's looking good. He's looking good, people. We can all say, oh, João Felix, overrated, this and that. João Felix has been amazing in these two games. And also Cancelo. I think Cancelo has been something more that they needed, another dimension to their attack, somebody who can move into the midfield as an inverted right back. I think Barca, with the way they are set up, this is good. You got Rafinha just out wide, and then you got Lewandowski and João Felix closer together on that left side in a way. And then it's just about, okay, how do you find the midfield balance in Barca? You got Gavi, you got De Jong, you got Gundogan, you got Romeo, you got Pedri coming back. It's a headache for Xavi, but I think he's kind of found now a good balance. You know, Gundogan, Frankie, Gavi, it works. Antwerp are no test for Barcelona. I think we all know that there are no test whatsoever. But I think it's just impressive on how well João Felix has immediately started. And I think that is good. And then it allows then Lamine Yamal to come off the bench and be an impact sub. Same thing with Ferran Torres. Then you got Victor Roque coming in January. All of a sudden, you look at Barca and you're like, can these guys win Champions League? I'm not going to get too crazy because it's only one game, and we need to see how the season progresses. But they got Araujo coming back. Look, they need to progress out of the group. That is the main thing. But I do like how Barca are playing. I think if they can keep this going, then I think El Clasico is in October. And if they destroy they destroy Real Madrid, like let's say 4-0, you're going to be like, you know what? Maybe Barca are for real. And then the other game in the group, obviously we had Porto going away to Hamburg because obviously Shakhtar cannot play in Ukraine. And it was actually a sold-out stadium because, well, Hamburg, they cannot even make it to the Bundesliga. So this will be the closest thing they get to Champions League football probably for a very long time. That first, I would say, the first half was absolute insanity, people. If you didn't watch this game, it was so entertaining. Just end to end. Shakhtar making terrible defensive mistakes. The third goal by Taremi, I mean, they try and put a pass across the defensive line. It just went to absolutely nobody. And, Taremi finishes it off. I am not too sure, but you guys have to do some research for me. Is Kelsey the first ever Venezuelan to score in the Champions League? I wonder if he's the first ever Venezuelan because I'm not too sure. I have not seen many Venezuelans. Obviously, you have Juan Arango from Borussia Mönchengladbach days. Josef Martinez never came to Europe. Is Kelsey the first ever Venezuelan? Shout out to him. He's only 19 years old, so he's a name to remember, people. Very, very strong in the air, but I could tell he needs more work on his all-around game, and then it will be better. But I think Porto, they were just clinical. Galeno getting 2 goals in the match. I just think Shakhtar's defending at times was just poor. I tweeted that out. I thought it was really poor at times. So let's see how this group progresses. Obviously, Porto will now host Barcelona in the next game, and Antwerp and Shakhtar are basically in a must-win game on the 4th of October. Both of those teams have got to win this game. I'm excited. Look, Porto have not looked enthralling. They've looked really boring. They had an equalizer, what was it, in the 100 and something minute in one of the Liga Portugal games. But on Tuesday, Porto looked a little bit more dangerous, and hopefully it continues for them and for Conceição. As you guys can see, Barcelona are top of the group, Porto second, Shakhtar third, and Antwerp are fourth. Let's now get to the next group. We're obviously going from the Tuesday games to the Wednesday games, people. So if you're all mistaken, big up to Samasi, big up to Pierre. How are you guys all doing? Big up to MM, big up to TH, big up to Trexter. How you doing, Prime? It's a poor Shakhtar side on previous editions. Yeah, 100%. I mean, Shakhtar just, they've gotten rid of a lot of players, and you can just tell now the quality is going down and down and down. But I like this Kelsey striker. I can't lie. I think the Kelsey striker looks good. He does look good. Big up to Dejan and big up to MM. Jefferson Suarez, first Venezuela. Okay, I don't know the name. I'm going to have to check him out. Then we get to this group. So RB Leipzig and Young Boys. Shout out to Elia. That finish he had was ridiculous. I don't know how Xavi Simons didn't get a penalty. The goalkeeper tripped him. Like, why on earth they went to VAR and he still didn't? Who was the ref? Did they show the referee here? Enya Yorgi. Well, Enya, you got to get sacked because that is one of the most stupidest decisions I saw all week. Absolutely all week. Like, Xavi Simons goes around the goalkeeper and the keeper takes him out and they don't call the... I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. But look, Leipzig had to work hard to get this victory. Young Boys not going to make it easy for any opponent in this group with their back five formation. But RB Leipzig, Schlager with a long-range shot, it was a little bit easy. And Šeško, this guy, he needs to start. No more Yusuf Poulsen. Those days are long gone. This is not 2017. You're in the Bundesliga 2, when there's a good story with RB Leipzig, even though a lot of people don't like them. I think for Benjamin Šeško, he needs to start. This guy has scored 3 goals in less than 90 minutes this season. Him with Lois Openda and Xavi Simons, now that's a trio you're going to be scared of. You're definitely going to be scared of. And I think it's a good victory. I mean, look, people, for this group, it's a foregone conclusion that it is going to be RB Leipzig and Man City to progress, and RB Leipzig now just stamp their authority on Young Boys. And then we get to the other game where, shout out to Sirvana Svesta, a.k.a. Red Star Belgrade. They were absolutely peppered in that first half. I gotta recheck the stats, people, because that might be a record-breaking Champions League thing. Man City had 22 shots. They had 7 shots on target. They had an XG. Hear this, people. They had an XG of 2.5 in one half. In one half. But the goalkeeper said, nah, not today. Not today. And it was, wow, it was a crazy first half. And then Bukhari, the Ghanaian, gets the only goal in the first half. And you thought, the hell is going on here? Shervana Svesta go away to Man City and take the lead. But then it's kind of similar for Man City, right? First half, they getting chances, they can't finish them off. Then immediately in the second half, they get the goal. They exactly what they did at West Ham away. Doku gets the goal there. Alvarez gets the goal here. You could say sort of poor defending from Shervana Svesta, where they really locked in immediately in the second half. But this is the problem. When you're going up against Man City, you cannot take a second off. Not even just a millisecond. Always engaged in the match, and they paid for it. And then Alvarez gets, I mean, the second goal by Alvarez, I don't know what the keeper is doing. I mean, he's trying to play volleyball, but that was terrible goalkeeping from him. And then Rodri gets a goal as well. Rodri, man, this guy is just unbelievable. People, let me know in the chat. Is Rodri the best midfielder in the world? Put a 1 if you agree. Put a 2 if you disagree. Is Rodri right now the best midfielder in the world? Because the guy, oh, look, doesn't change anything that he scored against Shervana Svesta. I don't care about that. But in the past, since the beginning of January of this year, I think Rodri has been impeccable. Absolutely marvelous performances, just commanding, calm on the ball. I just think he's a fantastic midfielder. Really is. But he is no prime Busquets. I tried this. I said this on Twitter. Somebody tried to say, "Oh, this Rodri is better than prime Busquets." Do you guys not know who prime Busquets was? But Rodri is unbelievable. He's an unbelievable footballer. But let's continue. Now we get to the group of death. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 30 likes. I mean, 30 people in the chat. We don't even have 30 likes. You guys are performing like Milan in front of goal, or should I say Leao, who's trying to do a back heel. And we'll get to Leao because yeah, remember to hit the like button, people. Big up to Angel, big up to MM, Free Mind, Sebastian, Samasi. Bayern chose Lucas Hernandez over Blood and your underhand Brazo. Hey, Lucas Hernandez, let's see. Milan and Newcastle, right? This was the first game alongside Leipzig and Young Boys of this season, the Champions League. And I have to be honest, like, Newcastle did not look... I understand, right? Newcastle, they go away to the San Siro, great occasion. You see Murphy just smiling when he hears the Champions League anthem. It's a fantastic achievement for some of these players like Dan Burn. Dan Burn probably never thought in his career he would be playing in a Champions League game at the San Siro. But I thought Newcastle, okay, did they defend well at times? Yeah. Did they offer anything? I mean, honestly, nothing until the 94th minute when I believe, if I remember correctly, Longstaff who had that shot. I thought Newcastle were just poor. Really poor. If it wasn't for freaking Leao, who was so wasteful and just his body language throughout the game was so poor, Milan could have easily won this game 3-0. They could have won this game 3-0. But Milan were wasteful. They didn't take their opportunities, and they paid for it. You don't take your opportunities in the Champions League on the big nights. This happens. This happens. Pulisic had a chance. Reinders had that shot. Theo Hernandez had a shot. Milan created chances, people. Chukwueze had 2 headers that didn't even get close to the goal. They went out for a freaking throw-in. Milan, look, I thought Milan actually played good, but it's just that final third and the shot that was just completely missing for them. And Leao, man, what is he trying to pull a graffiti? Graffiti. Oh, that was one of the best goals ever. Trying to do a back heel. Leao, bro, you are the superstar of Milan. You got paid the big bucks. These are the moments they need you, especially in this group. In this group, home victories are vital. Absolutely vital. I just thought Leao, man, just... we know he's a talented footballer, guys, and he's proves it over and over again. But it just, in some moments, in some games, he just isn't engaged and just lazy off the ball, not really caring about it. And that was evident in this game. Like, he's so talented and he should be doing a lot better. And Newcastle, I think they'll be very happy taking a point away. They'll be like, don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. I'll take this back to Newcastle. And we got PSG on a 4th of October, St. James's Park. That's going to be an insane atmosphere. And I think Newcastle will be very happy, but they got to play a lot better. I mean, a lot better. And Eddie Howe has to think to himself, what front three do people in the chat, and if you're watching a replay, Newcastle fans, what would be your front three for Newcastle against PSG? No more Murphy on the right wing. You got to either go with Isak, Callum Wilson, and then Gordon. That would probably be the front three you should play against PSG. You're not going to have a lot of the ball because we know it's Luis Enrique ball, and he's not going to allow possession to the other team. But Newcastle, man, I don't think they played well. Maybe it was the occasion. They got nerves. It wasn't good at all. It wasn't good at all. Maybe they just don't have the quality in the team. I thought Bruno Guimaraes didn't have a good game either. I know he got a couple of fouls, but they're big players. The Tonalis. I mean, even Tonali, like, he's drifting out wide on the left wing. Why? You want Tonali in and around the box. It doesn't make sense, but I'll say it again. Newcastle will be happy about it. And yeah, look, big up to Angel says, Newcastle were nervous and scared. Get Willock back in the side. Isak is inconsistent. Bruno. Yeah, I don't know what's happened to Bruno. Bruno Guimaraes this season, he has not been as quality as he was last year, but this is going to be the problem. How can Newcastle balance the Premier League and the Champions League? It's tough. Do they have the squad for it? Eddie Howe has never managed in European games. So these are the question marks you have to ask with Newcastle, but they'll be happy with the point. Now we get to the other game. Before I get to PSG, Borussia Dortmund and Terzic. Is this a bold claim, people? I don't think Terzic is lasting this season. This guy, boy, if you thought Dortmund are playing bad, that performance in Paris, with the big lights, for the big ears, that was terrible. I understand you want to go to a back five. When was the last time Borussia Dortmund played a back five? Might have been Chelsea away or Chelsea at home. I think that was the last time. Look, Terzic has done a good job in his role. But last year, okay, was it really like tactical where you're like, oh my God, look at Terzic. He's a brilliant young manager. He's going to be the next and up and coming. You didn't really think like that. No, you didn't. And this season, you haven't like the signings they made in the summer for Borussia Dortmund were so just Ben Sebaini. Come on, Sabitzer. I like Füllkrug, but Füllkrug, I look at the team and I just say, you've lost your technical ability if you're Dortmund. What do we always think with Borussia Dortmund? Technical ballers. I think the Duranville, the young Belgian forward, he's out injured. He's a big miss because I think they could use him. But it just tactically, they didn't know how to keep the ball. Even when they were defending, they looked shaky. You know you don't have great center backs in Sule, Matsumos. I rate Schlotterbeck. I just think he needs a guy next to him to lead him. They didn't get a center back. They didn't. So Dortmund really got to improve. They got their home game next against Milan. They have to win it. If they don't win that, then it's going to be a long group stage, I think, for Borussia Dortmund. But we've seen stranger things. And maybe the home crowd can then lift Dortmund to victory, especially against Milan. That's a must-win for both teams now, heading into October. But Borussia Dortmund did not look good, and that really now needs to improve slightly. Kochko would have been a good signing for them. 100%. Why didn't you go for Kochko? I think there were rumors that Kochko would be going to Dortmund. Get him! A midfielder who's technical, who can play the 8, the 6, the 10. He can do everything. But no, we'll get Sabitzer. I want Borussia Dortmund to do well, people. That's the thing. I want them to do well. I just don't think they have the technical players like they used to. You know, Royce is getting older and older. He's coming off the bench and he's showing still some quality. But I just look at them and I'm like, is there really anything to be excited about with Dortmund right now? But I see this over again, and I see this in the comments sometimes on the replay videos. For some reason, it's just the beginning of the season, Dortmund don't start well, but then it gets to Christmas, and then once the Bundesliga restarts, then they start playing well, and you see something going on with the patterns of play and everything like it. I don't think they have until like you see the other teams in the Bundesliga getting better, and this group in the Champions League, Dortmund got to switch to the light right now. But for PSG, did they play the greatest? No, I don't think they did. But Vitinha, he looks a lot better than last season. Like Vitinha last year didn't look the greatest compared to what we know he can be. But this season, Vitinha has played well. But defensively, they don't look the strongest. So when a PSG go up, against the Leao and the players like that, or maybe even Isak, I think they're going to cause a lot of problems to this PSG defense. Just the way they're just so stretched out. Like, look, PSG have some wonderful combination play. You guys know I love Ugarte. I think he's a beast of a midfielder. But they just need to find that right balance. And Mbappe didn't have his greatest game, even though he got the goal and the penalty. But that Hakimi goal was special. You see the link-up play. Oh, the calmness by Hakimi outside the right foot. Oh, it was a beautiful goal from Hakimi. And that just shows you the quality he has. Obviously, they're going to get Nuno Mendes back from injury. So I think there's room for improvement for PSG. And they got Le Classique this weekend against the Marseille side that are just in shambles. Let's see how PSG do going away to Newcastle. Are they ready for that physical battle? Because we know that's going to be a physical battle. Like, you look at the PSG team, do you guys think they can handle the physicality of Newcastle, especially from set pieces? So what is there? There's Colomboani, there's Skriniar, there's Lucas Hernandez. If I'm Newcastle, just put balls into the box and just absolutely test the two center backs of PSG. And let's see how PSG react. But it was a comfortable victory. If I'm going to be honest, people, I think PSG, even though they didn't play great in that first half, they didn't really create a whole lot. I know they hit the post. I think they can play better, and we'll have to see how they progress more and more. Look, it's the early stages of Luis Enrique ball, but there's a long way to go for them. And then we get to the next group. Dembele, yeah, bro. All right, if you're rating Ousmane Dembele in 2023, you need to see a psychologist. The guy has I have seen. Oh, he's so his decision making is so bad. He's so bad. Like Ousmane Dembele, man. Even though he got the penalty, but still, I just see a guy who's just so talented, but just doesn't produce it enough. But hey, maybe he can bounce back this season. Time will tell. So Feyenoord and Celtic. Got to give it to Celtic. I thought actually Celtic played a very good game in the first half, and then all that happened was they just collapsed. And Joe Hart should be saving that free kick from Stengs. Joe Hart has to be saving that. The most experienced player on Celtic makes the mistake, but the atmosphere was unbelievable, people. If you want Champions League football and you want the best, atmosphere possible, it was this game. Unbelievable. But Joe Hart has to be saving that free kick. There's no excuses. But hey, in the first half, Celtic were in it, and Celtic created chances themselves. And I was like, okay, you know what? Even though, Feyenoord have scored not 6 goals and 5 goals in their past 3 games, I thought Celtic could actually win this game. And they did cause problems, but it's just that mistake from Joe Hart, and then the second half they collapse. I don't think that was a penalty, by the way. Oh, wait, I'm trying to remember, people. No, I'm thinking of something else. So, no, yes, it was the penalty because what was the Swedish center back's name again? The one who got the red card. I can't remember. He puts his elbow out. I thought it was kind of soft, if I'm going to be honest. They gave the penalty. He got his second yellow, and then Igor Paschal misses the penalty. It wasn't a good pen, in my opinion. And then they get a second red card. I don't know. It was Holm, and I've never seen this guy Holm play before. But he just looked like it was his first ever time in a park, and he saw the swings, and he went absolutely crazy. He didn't calm himself down and just got an insanely stupid red card. I thought, okay, you could say, oh, he was trying to go for the ball. I thought it was just way too late with the boots showing. And then Jahan Bash gets the second goal. and Feyenoord take a 2-0 victory. But I think Feyenoord didn't play their greatest game to what we know of Feyenoord, even though I don't think this is a better Feyenoord team compared to last season. I still think Feyenoord can get out of this group. I did predict them to finish second. And yes, that's a good point, Stan, that Santi Jimenez was not starting in the game. I don't know why. Was it suspension or was he injured? But Santi Jimenez is, we know, the guy is a good striker. We don't rate a lot of Mexican players anymore because, most of them are not that great. Santi Jimenez is the only one we can all agree. And Edson Alvarez of West Ham. I was going to say Ajax of West Ham. Those two guys, I'm like, you know what? Those are Mexican players. The rest, I don't know about it. Oh, yeah, he got the red card against Roma. That's right. Yes, now I remember. Yeah. Now I remember. So, look, it was a good victory for Feyenoord. I think they got to improve a lot. But with no striker, and you're going to go away to Atleti, that's going to be some game. And then the next one, where the absolute madness, Memo Ochoa. If it's Memo, actually, to be fair, Memo Ochoa had a great season last year for Salernitana. Lazio, Atletico, Provedel. But before we get to Provedel, the first half, Lazio creating chances, Atleti kind of hanging on. But as the game grew on, excuse me, people, remember to drink water, keep hydrated. As the game grew on, then you saw Atleti taking more ascensive in the game. Barrios getting the goal, deflection. What can you do? What can you do if you're Provedel? I mean, Provedel can't do anything about it. And I actually thought, overall, even though Atleti have a lot of injuries going on, they actually played quite decently. They had to respond after that shit show they had at Valencia. At least they performed in this game, Atleti. And then they were kind of creating chances. You could see, especially in the second half, they were by far the better team than Lazio, in my opinion. They couldn't finish it off. And then the madness of Provedel. And apparently, this is not even his first ever goal. He has scored before this goalkeeper. And there was something I read that he was under 19 and he scored 25 goals or something. He's a former striker. That header was insane. That header was better than anything I saw from Ricky Lambert at Liverpool. Provedel, shout out to him. He wears number 94. He scored in the 94th minute. He's born in 1994. The Illuminati is real, people. If you do bet, by the way, in the lottery, bet number 94. Because clearly right now, it's hot. It's hot on the stock market, is the number 94. And really, Uncle Sharma,
This is bad. This is very bad.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus. Immobile, man. I think he had one chance where I'm like, how did you not score from there? But Immobile is terrible. 94 babies. Rise up. That was insane finish by Provedel. Gotta give it to him. Did Lazio really deserve the draw? If I'm going to be honest, nah, not really. Not really. I would say the Atleti were better. But, the goalkeeper rose to the occasion. And like Uncle Sharma said, had better off-ball movement than Immobile, which is crazy to me. Maybe they should... Provedel should be the Italian striker if they qualify to the next Euros. Do we all agree? Cool. Move on. But yeah, this group, this group is going to be fascinating because how Celtic are going to host Lazio. If you're Celtic, you kind of think to yourself, we can win this game. And then Feyenoord go away to Atleti, which is going to be a battle. And I'm excited to see how Santi Jimenez does against Atleti. And Feyenoord are top of the group. Atleti second, Lazio third, and Celtic are fourth. What a game. Now, another group where it gets interesting. Remember to hit the like button, people. If you haven't done so already, we can get up to 50 likes. I know we can. I know we can. Damn, Atleti are winless in their last 6 Champions League matches. Those guys, if they get grouped again, Atleti, oh boy, Diego Simeone now. That's not going to be good. Real Sociedad and Inter Milan. Shout out to Real Sociedad. It was their first Champions League game in 10 years, and I thought that first half and the first 3 minutes, they were absolutely peppering. I mean, absolutely peppering Inter. What did they do? They hit the post. Jan Sommer made a good save. And they got... Inter were lucky in that first half. I think they got lucky throughout the game, but we'll kind of discuss about it more. Bastoni kind of careless with the ball. I don't think he knew what he was kind of doing there. Maybe you could say Jan Sommer, you put him in the difficult position, but Bastoni has to read the game better there. Real Sociedad take it away, and Mendes just calmly finishes past Jan Sommer. And then the rest of the first half, let me just tell you the stats, people, quickly. Let me just get it up because that was... Real Sociedad were absolutely all over Inter. I just think it was the pressing, the ball movement, the technical players that we know Real Sociedad have, the crowd being unbelievable. There was just so much hype for Real Sociedad, and it's great because they have amazing fans. Their stadium has been renovated in the last couple of years, and they were just up for the occasion. They had 8 shots altogether in the first half, 3 on target, and an XG of 0.87. I don't know how much of the XG was because of the goal, but wow, it's just Real Sociedad. Oh, yeah, no. Face. Bastoni's so good before this game, and he needs to make a blunder. So Prem... Actually, that's true. That's true. It's just true. So they realize, oh, maybe he's a bum. We don't need to sign him. But Bastoni, I think, is an unbelievable center back. And then they had more chances the second half. And if you're like a Real Sociedad fan, you'll be kicking yourself and saying, we should have won this game. We should have won this game. We had opportunities. Jan Sommer made an unbelievable... I think he hit the crossbar first, and then it was a header. It was an unbelievable save by Jan Sommer. That's what you need, right? In these difficult away venues like a Real Sociedad, like a Benfica, you need your goalkeeper to step up and to make good saves. And then you need your El Capitan, El Toro, who was not having a great game. Like Lautaro was ghosting. He was not having a great game, but steps up when his team needed him most. By the way, what do we think of the Barella decision? Because at first, they were going to give it a red card. Then Michael Oliver goes to the monitor and then reverses it, and it was no red card on Barella. Do you guys think it was a red card, or do you not think it was a red card? He had some motion in that tackle, but did he really sort of... I mean, the Real Sociedad player, I can't remember which player it was, kind of had him in a tangle, and you just thought, okay, maybe can be red. I don't think it's so reckless. But Barella got to be careful, man. Yeah, he's got to be careful. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, people. Do you think it was a red or not? Do you think Michael Oliver got it right? But Lautaro, man, Fratesi, I don't know if Fratesi was trying to shoot it or just kind of cross it to the back post. Great finish from Lautaro, 1-1. And I got to give it to Real Sociedad. I thought they played an amazing game, but they should have really won this game. But that just shows you the experience of Inter. They just needed their big guys to step up in key moments, especially, like I said, in a tough away ground, and they got that exactly from Lautaro, from Jan Sommer, and they get away with the point. And I think Inzaghi will be happy with it, but they know. They made, 5 changes to the starting lineup. We saw, obviously, De Vrij come in. We saw Arnautovic. We saw Aslani get some minutes, but they did not play that well. I thought Real Sociedad were just running around them. They were just passing around like it was nothing. It was beautiful football to watch. But Inter will definitely be happy of the two teams. Okay, so it's still suspended for Atleti away. He'll be back after the game. Gotcha. Lautaro stepping up so far this season. He's taken it well to be for the responsibilities. Yes, obviously becoming the new captain. If this is his last year, he goes and doesn't score at all. And then we get to Benfica and RB Salzburg. Oh, Antonio Silva. What on earth are you doing? Oh, Antonio Silva. Do you really blame him for that situation? Nah. I mean, the ball obviously takes a weird bounce and then it hits the crossbar. And you could say maybe it accidentally hit his hand. He's got to read the situation better. And he gets the red card. Obviously, crazy enough, Trubin, I don't know which player he knocked out from RB Salzburg, gives the stupid pen away. Then Konate misses the pen. I think it was like the 4th or 5th minute, if I remember. Then they get another pen, and then Simic. This kid is a baller, by the way, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. This was the youngest starting lineup ever in Champions League group stage history. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was the case for RB Salzburg. But Benfica, man, before that penalty, before the red card and the penalty and everything happened, João Mario hit the post. Then I think RB Salzburg go the other way, and they get the penalty. It just shows you football is just changes like that in a second. But still, Benfica were creating chances. Di Maria had a couple great. Di Maria almost scored directly from a corner. By the way, people, it was an unbelievable attempt from him. Then they had chances in the second half. João Neves, you had Musa. This was my problem in the summer for Benfica. I think they made some brilliant signings with Kochku, with Di Maria, but they didn't really solve the sort of striker issue. And I think it was evident in this game where maybe if they just had a Gonzalo Ramos, they could have gotten a point. Then they were trying to press on RB Salzburg, but we know RB Salzburg, guys, they got technical players. They're able to play the ball on the ground. They don't just lump it forward. We know how RB Salzburg want to play. They beat the press of Benfica, and then they're on a two. They're all basically on a 4-on-2 opportunity. And the young Israeli, keep this name, people, because this kid, he's going to be good, is Glauch. I think that's how you pronounce it. He gets the goal. Were RB Salzburg lucky? You could say it. But for a young side, it's a great achievement for them. And now this group gets even more crazy. I thought this would be one of the more tighter groups in the Champions League because we know what Real Sociedad possess. We know what RB Salzburg possess. But now this group gets even more interesting because RB Salzburg won their game and now they are top of Group D and they're going to host Real Sociedad the next game. And Benfica are almost in a must-win situation. They go away to the San Siro to get some revenge. Ooh, this group is going to be fire. I already can tell this group is going to be fire. We could have a scenario where all 4 teams can still qualify on the final match day. So let me know, Benfica fans, if you're watching a replay, are you sort of optimistic still? Are you kind of pissed off by what happened? I mean, it was a deserved red card. I mean, Antonio Silva just... unlucky, but also, what are you doing? Like, seriously, what are you doing in that situation? Group C. This kid, it's just kids everywhere. I mean, Hola Jude. Does it again. See, now people realized Union Berlin football. They realized it. It is not pretty. I tried warning you. It is not pretty, but it's effective. They're going to be defensive side who will counterattack. The counterattack wasn't really there for Union in this game because Real Madrid dealt with it well. And, Union Berlin have, other than Bayern in the Bundesliga, they're not going to face this sort of technical team like Real Madrid have with the technical players they have. But do Real Madrid look like Champions League winners? No, they don't. They don't have an attack where you're like, I'm scared. I got to freeze before facing them. No, no disrespect. It's Joselu. Joselu is doing as good of a job as he can, but they need Vinny back. And I think Vinny is back in training this week, if I'm not mistaken. They just need somebody else to just bring some goal scoring to this team. That's what they're lacking, right? Real Madrid moving very well into the final third, but it's just about that end product that Real Madrid are missing. But this guy again, look, did Jude Bellingham have his best game? No, I don't think he had his best game. Was he lucky for the goal? Hell yeah, he was, because first, shout out, by the way, shout out to Bonucci. I thought he was unbelievable in the game. Bonucci, that was his first start. I think it was first minutes for Union Berlin, was unbelievable. Shout out to Bonucci, just showing the class he still has. And, that trademark Bonucci crossfield pass. Great performance from him. But Union Berlin will be kicking themselves because they gave so much space to Valverde. What is the one guy on Real Madrid you don't allow to shoot? Oh, I know. It's this country. Let me. You don't allow a person from this country to shoot, right? Valverde, don't let him do it. They let him do it. The ball ricochets. Union trying to clear it, and then it just falls to the path of Jude Bellingham. This guy, when you're hot, you're inferno. And right now, he's inferno. And I'll say it again. He didn't have his best game. He was involved in the play at times, but maybe just his touch was a little bit too heavy. All is going to be forgotten because he got a goal. It's all going to be forgotten. But Real Madrid got to improve. I just think they thought to themselves, okay, we're facing Union Berlin. These guys, they're going to make life difficult for us if we can just get a victory here. But it's just that mentality that Real Madrid have in the tough moments. They pull it through. Look, does Bellingham not impress you? Fair enough. Like, I mean, Bellingham. The thing with Bellingham is, I think his overall game needs to develop more and more. But I'll reiterate, he is 20 years old, right? I still think if I had to choose between Jamal Musiala, who we're going to get to, and Jude Bellingham, Musiala. I'm taking Musiala all day. But the problem is, Musiala needs to improve on the goal scoring and the assists, right? We always want to talk about what do you produce? You have all this dribbling, but you don't provide a final pass or get a goal. Jude Bellingham, I think his game is improving, and he's getting goals. He's getting goals. And Real Madrid need these goals because they don't have any other attacker who's getting the goals for them. I think for Union Berlin, they had 5,000 people there. It was amazing to see. They're going to host Braga in the next game. I think Union Berlin, they're going to give a better account of themselves. I thought actually Brendan Aronson, when he came onto the field, had a decent game. Geraldo Becker, we know he's a better player than that. I don't think Geraldo Becker, I think he was kind of frustrated. He's like, damn, I ain't getting no support here. I was getting triple teamed. But yeah, agreed, Freemind. That the black and gold shirt for Union, I might need to buy it. I mean, that was a fire kit. It was even better in person. And let's see now. Napoli and Braga. Hey, first things first. Rudy Garcia, you got to go. You got to go. This Napoli team is an absolute shadow of themselves from last season. Last season, you saw the triangles. You saw Lobotka being involved in the play. You saw Anguissa playing good. You saw Kivara, madness. You saw a stable center backs, a good defense who knew how to deal with the situation. Now, I don't even know what to say with Napoli. Don't even know what to say. I really respect Osimhen because he's trying his hardest to get the goals and working so hard for his team. But these tactics right now are abysmal. They're abysmal. Another one, just like who did I say before? Terzic. Rudy Garcia. I don't think he's going to make it to Christmas. He might be home for Christmas because he's going to be jobless. These choices he's making, by the way, was it Juan Jesus? Don't start this guy. Don't. He's not that good. He's not that good. Give the guy who they signed from what's the team's name? Bragantino, Nathan. Give him a try. Can't be worse than Juan Jesus right now. But these tactics are terrible. There is a reason why Rudy Garcia got sacked at Al Nassr. There's a reason why. These tactics are doo-doo. They need to be in the trash. But got to give to Braga, man. Braga could have easily equalized in this game. Easily. Great goal from Bruma. Great goal. Then Niakate. Excuse me, Niakate. That was the best own goal I've seen in a while, though. I got to say, that was a good own goal. But, man. Even in extra time, you're like, what the heck? Braga, they're creating chances. They hit the crossbar. Napoli are surviving here. Behind the big rock at the Braga Stadium. It was poor from Napoli. Like, okay, they played a good first half. They were creating a lot of chances. They could have maybe been 2-3-0 up. Di Lorenzo getting a nice goal. But Braga I thought Braga really played a good second half. They could have easily won this game, Braga. And that is not a good sign if you're a Napoli fan. You got to improve. But I just think this manager is clueless right now. Rudy Garcia is clueless right now. And they got to improve because if they don't, we can talk about, they're not going to win the Scudetto. Are Napoli going to make top 4 with the players they have? And Kivara got substituted, by the way. Kivara didn't have a great game. But keep your guy on the field. He's the one person who can make a difference, especially on the counterattack. I think Rudy Garcia is already losing the plot. Already. Like, the win papers over everything that's going wrong with Napoli at the moment. So they got to improve badly, and this manager's got to improve. Otherwise, Napoli, they got to fear Union Berlin. I'm just going to say it right now. They got to fear Union Berlin. But as you see, Napoli and Real Madrid are the top two dogs in this group, and Braga and Union Berlin. I think both will be sort of satisfied with their performances, and maybe Braga will be more kicking them. Actually, Union Berlin too, because they conceded such a late goal. But it was a good game from Braga. It was a good game. Big up to Michael Brown. Says, Michael, we mentioned last season that because Napoli did so well last season, many of their players will be courted by other clubs, including their manager. Well, Spalletti and De Laurentiis, they just had a falling out, and Spalletti left, which is crazy to me. Then obviously now Spalletti is the new manager of the Azzurri. And I think for Kim Min-jae, he obviously had the release clause. And maybe he just said, hey, Bayern are closer to winning the Champions League. I go to even. There's no disrespect to Napoli, but Bayern are more of a global brand than Napoli. Why not go there? So he went there. And they haven't really lost anybody else. I just think it's these tactics are terrible. These tactics are terrible, people. Like, read any sort of Napoli Twitter or social media. This guy is getting clueless already. I don't know, free minded. This Rudy Garcia, he might give me a headache. This guy, he might give me a headache. But we move on to Group B. We got 2 more groups to go, people. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Shout out to all the members: Free Mind, Matt, Sebastian, Samasi. Shout out to you all, you beautiful people. As we get to the relegation battle, shout out to Mo calling it the relegation battle of Sevilla and Lens. Wasn't the greatest game. I'll be honest. Judging by I didn't watch this game. Judging by the highlights, it wasn't the greatest game. It wasn't. Like, Ocampos header. That was a looping header. I don't even know how that went in. Gets the goal, 9th minute. And then Fulgini. Great free kick. But I don't know if this is the backup goalkeeper nowadays for Sevilla, or no, it was Dimitrovic. No, he's definitely number 1. Oh, okay. It was a good shot from Fulgini. Dimitrovic has to do better in that situation. He has to be saving that. It's on your side. You can't be okay. The free kick is close. Still, you cannot be being on your keeper's side. Other than that, like, I mean, both teams had a sort of half chances. Ramos even had a header. What was in the 90? No, I think it was the 80th minute or something like that. Ramos had a header from corner where he could have probably done better. While he had a half chance for Lens, it wasn't the greatest, I thought, of games. I don't think it was the greatest of games, but if you're Lens, you're going to be happy with this result because this is their first Champions League game in what now? 21 years, 20 years. You saw the footage in Lens, how the crowd just went crazy. It's an amazing achievement for them. They are still bottom of Liga, by the way. They are bottom of Liga. And Sevilla, these guys, I swear, they're going to finish third. Just watch. They will finish third in this group because it's what Sevilla do. But I feel like both teams, you can see that they're not playing with the greatest of confidence. Their season has to start off better. It could be getting better and better. Got to give it, though, to Abdul Samed, the Ghanaian midfielder for Lens. Still, I think he's a quality midfielder, by the way. He's a quality midfielder. But let's get now to Arsenal. They come back, Champions League. The anthem hits the Emirates. The crowd goes crazy. See, people, when you haven't probably heard the Champions League atmosphere in a long time, you get the goosebumps, right? You get the goosebumps. You go crazy. The atmosphere was great. It was great at the Emirates. And I think the crowd really just sort of elevated the whole occasion for the players, for Arteta, and just saying, now this club is back to where they belong, right? I think somebody said it on YouTube that Arsenal took it for granted for many years being in the Champions League. Because what was it? 13, 15, 16 years straight. They were in the Champions League. They're just like, cool. It's just a morning alarm when you have to wake up to bed just hearing the Champions League anthem. But now the occasion was there. And of course, it just had to be Bukayo Saka to get that first goal. Had to be. Although it was some horrendous goalkeeping. You parry it straight to Saka. But it was wonderful link-up play between Saka and Erdegaard. And of course, he had to score, man. It's good for him, man. He hasn't had, I would say, the best of starts this season. But getting that goal, impressive. But Peter, got to give it to PSV. I said this team is a very good team, very exciting. They're going to go attacking. It's Peter Bosz football. They have to. There's a craziness you can go to if you're Peter Bosz, and then there was that. I mean, some of the third goal where Jesus has was it the second goal or the third goal? I can't. There was a lot of games, people, and you can see I'm trying to analyze every game as best I can. Literally, all of the PSV players are in Arsenal's half. Got credit is where credit is due, but having all your players in Arsenal's half against this Arsenal side, who we know are very technical and can be dangerous on the counterattack, is suicidal. It is some suicidal football from PSV. But the goals, the Trossard finish, the Gabriel Jesus goal, you just see, man, there's Nketiah, and then there's Gabriel Jesus. Unbelievable game from him. And then Ødegaard again, man. He is that finish. He is loving that right bottom corner. He did it for Norway against Georgia, and he does it again against PSV. Ødegaard is adding this element to his game. He has a wonderful shot on him. He's got to trust it more, and he's trusting it more as the season goes on, as he gets older, gets more confident in this game. And Ødegaard was unbelievable. Unbelievable in this game. That's the Ødegaard we know is this right here. And he's getting better and better. But PSV, look, Noah Lang had a good game. I thought Bakayoko had a decent game. But it's just, you got to be smarter in Europe, right? You're not going up against Go Ahead Eagles. You're not going up against Den Haag. You're not going up against Sparta Rotterdam. This is Arsenal, right? You have to be smarter if you're Peter Bosz. And Arsenal, man, they just, for being their first game back in the Champions League, a lot of these players have not played in the Champions League before. Maybe you thought, okay, the occasion can get to them. Really? Fantastic performance. Okay. I do see this, though, on social media. Are Arsenal now going to win the Champions League? You have temper expectations. Jesus, it's one game, right? It's one game. Arsenal are definitely, I think, top 5, top 4 favorites for the Champions League. But there is going to be tougher tests ahead. Definitely tougher. Look how many years it took Man City to win the Champions League with Pep. With freaking Pep, who's one of the GOATs of football. Arsenal this is a young team still. This is not going to be their first rodeo. They're going to have many seasons probably in the Champions League with this team. Just enjoy the ride. Enjoy. Look, if you haven't been in the Champions League in many seasons, and if you're a fan, you want to enjoy these occasions and just say, all right, I want to go to PSV. I want to go to Sevilla. I still think Arsenal, I think they can get to a semis, but it's just about the sort of experience, especially in Europe, right? This is not the league in Europe where you go 1-0 down, let's say, away to the San Siro gets Inter. Can you sort of get that mentality back and then win the game? I don't know. Let's see. But I think Arsenal played a really good game. They beat PSV convincingly. It could have been 5. It could have been 6 people. I just thought some of the defending from PSV was terrible. Shout out to Copper. Says PSV could have scored if our wingers passed more and didn't go solo with slow balls. Yeah, Noah Lang and Bakayoko, I think they were a little bit selfish, but they were causing problems, people. They were causing problems. So let's not count that out. But tougher games lie ahead for Arsenal. But it's a fantastic performance, especially with their first game back. And they just need to keep building and building and building. But they're not going to face, this is the thing, like in the Premier League, they just face low blocks all the time, Arsenal. PSV just said, F that, we'll go toe-to-toe. And they just found out the hard way what happens when you go toe-to-toe with this Arsenal side who have a lot of good technical players, and Saka and Trossard and Gabriel Jesus. That honestly was unbelievable performance from him. That one chance where he did the step over, then on his right foot, sick. Arsenal is going to get humbled in the round of 16 like how Sporting knocked them out. We'll find out, people. We'll find out. But let the Arsenal fans be people. Let the Arsenal fans get gassed, and then, they might find out the hard way if they get knocked out by like a Galatasaray, FC Copenhagen, or even RB Salzburg. then Arsenal fans will think to themselves, we should have not gone that gas. But Arsenal fans should be happy. Their team is back to where it should belong, and they're playing great football. Can't deny it. They're playing great football, people. So let them be happy, guys. We don't all have to be negative. You don't all have to be negative. They played a good game, but PSV got to play a lot better defensively. That's the final thing I'll say about that. Group A, this group, how many goals produced? 11 goals in 2 games. Jesus Christ, the defending. Holy shit. Gotta improve on that. Oh, Galatasaray. I did say this in my preview and prediction. I thought the defending against Molde was terrible, and they have to improve on that if they want to finish in second place. Well, clearly they didn't learn their lesson because, again, the defending for both goals was terrible. It was terrible. Yes, they created chances. Galatasaray created a lot of chances in that first half, but you have to defend a lot better. Dries Mertens loses the header, and then El Yunusi with a great finish, and it's 1-0 for FC Copenhagen, who really, FC Copenhagen, when they were in possession, they were able to beat the press of Galatasaray very easily. Then you get to the second half. Gonzalez gets the goal. Again, terrible defending from Galatasaray. Just way too easy for FC Copenhagen, in all honesty. Like watching the game, I was like, this is why I didn't want to get too crazy and say, oh yeah, Galatasaray are going to finish second. Look at, man, they got Dries Mertens, they got Icardi, Zaha, and Ndombele, Sergio Oliveira, Lucas Torreira. No. They are not a good defensive team, and that might be their downfall in this group. They got a lot of good players. Nobody's going to deny it. They got a lot of good players. However, the game completely changed when Yellert got a second yellow, and it was deservedly so. Stupid tackle from him. He's a very good right back, by the way. The 20-year-old, very good right back. But he gets the red card, and then Galatasaray just went for it. They just put all the attackers. They brought on Zaha. They brought on Tete. They brought on Sergio Oliveira. Then I think they brought on Yilmaz for Ziyech as well. Then they even went even more crazy and brought Ndombele for Nelson. I just think they went for a back three, kind of looked like. And then the madness begins. Bowie, the right back, fantastic finish. The near post for, was it Grabavara? I think it was the goalkeeper's name for FC Copenhagen. And then the finish from Tete. The volley, sublime. Sublime. If you're Galatasaray, you're disappointed. You cannot be drawing with FC Copenhagen at home. You cannot. But they did show that they have that attacking prowess to really threaten teams, right? They have those ballers. They have the striker. But were they threatening throughout the game? No. The main thing is, though, you cannot defend like that against Manchester United, and you cannot defend like that against Bayern. Otherwise, you will be torn apart. You can give a good game at home. Away, got to be a lot better. Has to be a lot better, especially Lucas Torreira. I don't think he had his greatest game, if I'm going to be honest. I thought Lucas Torreira, even though I think he did play the whole 90 minutes, careless on the ball, just being run past in the midfield, didn't have his greatest game. And for FC Copenhagen, this is a missed opportunity, but also a good point, because all you need to do now is beat Galatasaray at a home, and you're probably going to be going to the Europa League, which would be great. And it's a tough venue to go to. And I thought also Falk in the midfield was he had a great game. Great game. Akouri, the Tunisian, could have been, at times he was a bit too selfish. Got to give it to FC Copenhagen. Great game from them. Galatasaray, got to improve, and you're going away to Old Trafford. They can pose a threat, but they have to be a lot better defensively. A lot better. And you want to talk about defensively. Bayern and Manchester United, these two teams can't defend right now. They cannot defend to save their lives. So let's get to Manchester United. Again, they start off a great game brilliantly. First 20 minutes, I thought, hey, United looking good here. Defensively organized, threatening on the counterattack. You could argue, could there have been a penalty? Was it on Pelistri from Alphonso Davies? Højlund had a chance. You're like, hey, United are here. motivated, up for it, the moment isn't too big for some of these players, you're like, hey, United looking good. And then, oh, Nana. Oh, Nana.
This is bad. This is very,
Stephen
very
A.
bad.
That was oh boy, man. He gave that big speech as well, before the game. We're united. We're together. Even if we lose or win. You cannot be making that mistake, buddy. I like Onana. I think he's one player where I'm looking to myself and I'm like, he takes accountability. He understands when he makes a mistake and he wants the team to do well. But you can't be making a mistake like that. And he knows it. He knows it. That's why he gave the interview after the game, owning up to the mistake. But that's horrendous. Leroy Sané's shot was just go like this. You don't even need to save it. You could just parry it away like that. But it just seems like he kind of went over it, and it just went on. Oh, it's terrible. Terrible from. It was a good link-up play, but you got to say, oh, no, what are you doing in that situation? The Gnabry goal. Jamal, the truth, JM, Jamal Musiala. Guy was, there's the fidget spinner for Manchester United. I'm not going to say his name, but you guys know the player, right? The Brazilian fidget spinner. The Samba fidget spinner, right? There was another one, and it was Casemiro, because Musiala was just doing the merry-go-round on Casemiro. The turn Jamal Musiala did on Casemiro for that second goal, then takes it down the byline. Dalot did actually very well to stop Musiala. And I think also Lindelof did the right thing. I know people are going at Lindelof. Lindelof was also just kind of following Dalot because he's thinking to himself, oh, a midfielder's got Gnabry, surely. Surely Eriksen. Surely Casemiro's got him. Nobody. But maybe Lindelof could have read the situation a lot better. Yet again, we said this about Brighton. We said this about Arsenal. Manchester United don't know how to defend this cutback. It's so it's not even a tactical thing. It's just about the players reading the game. Nobody can blame Ten Hag for that. Experienced players like Eriksen and Casemiro need to be reading the situation a lot better. A whole lot better. That is horrific defending from all parties. And it's just I think it's just a mentality thing with some of these United players where they go 1-0 down and the heads drop and they're not engaged in the match anymore. It's an issue. And these cutbacks are becoming more and more of an issue. So we get to the second half and boom, Rasmus Højlund, this kid, man. I think he's going to be a really good striker, by the way. People watching him for Atalanta, watching him for FC Copenhagen, even though he wasn't there for long, watching him from Denmark, I'm like, this guy's a threat. He is going to be a big problem in the future. Gets his first goal for Manchester United. Good finish. Took a deflection, but they all count. But again. The penalty. If you're going to ask me, I don't think it's a penalty. Put a 1. If you're also watching a replay, give me your thoughts. Is it a penalty or not? Put a 1 in the chat. Is that a penalty? And put a 2 if you don't think it's a penalty. What on earth? I would love to ask a referee, what is Christian Eriksen supposed to be doing in that situation? What is Christian Eriksen? Literally, he is a meter away. I don't think he really has his hand in a unnatural body position. I don't think it's a penalty at all. I think really harsh on Eriksen and really harsh on Manchester United. Who got the header? Who had the header? Oh man, the memory. Who had the header? Was it Kim Min-jae who had the header? People goes right at Eriksen. Eriksen, what do you want? To be the Usain Bolt of reading the game? Because 1 second and then it hits his hand. I think it's Davis. Thank you, Matt. So Alphonso Davis heads it straight at Eriksen. I think it's really harsh. I don't think it's a penalty whatsoever. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Wolves. I guess it's karma for Wolves, sort of. But, Man United, I don't think it's a penalty whatsoever. But Harry Kane, who I thought didn't have his greatest game, got the goal. Was it Upamecano who headed it, or was it Davis? I might have been Upamecano actually. I can't remember. People, I told you, I was watching most of the games. Harry Kane then scores the penalty, and then after it was 3-1. Okay, fair enough, Elo. If you said I want a penalty, though, I'm a United fan, harsh but fair. I don't know. I just think to myself, I don't know how Eriksen is supposed to read that situation and then move out of the way in like literally half a second. I think it's harsh, but hey, man, even a United fan says it's a penalty. Fair enough. At least we have unbiased people here on the channel, right? I try and keep it as unbiased as possible, people, even though I'm a Liverpool fan. And I'm saying to you, I don't think that's a pen. But Harry Kane scores it. But after it went 3-1, once it went to 3-1, Bayern were absolutely cooking Manchester United. They just could not finish their chances, or they became a bit too selfish. Once, like, United did very well. United did very well to get back to 2-1. And that's the sort of response I think you want as a United fan. And you just say to yourself, no way has Ten Hag lost this dressing room. If he lost that dressing room, they would have got destroyed 5 or 6-0 last night. There would have been no fight from this United team. But they fought back. But as soon as it went to 3-1, again, the heads go down. You can talk about tactics and this sort of stuff. Casemiro, Eriksen, whether it was McTominay who came on or Fernandes, had no control of that midfield. And I've been saying this. That Bayern midfield is not good. Look at Goretzka. Can somebody name me one thing that Goretzka did last night? Except flex his muscles. Because Goretzka was not great. Wasn't great. And yes, okay, Casemiro got the goal. I thought Casemiro was poor. But it's kind of a similar situation to sort of Fabinho last season, where Fabinho looked poor and just his legs were gone. But you can say, okay, look at the midfielders around him. Nothing to help him. It's kind of a similar situation here. Like Casemiro is on a stranded island and he can't do anything about it. He has to do all the tracking for all the players. Kind of feel bad. Like, that's why I want to see when Amrabat comes into the team, then I want to see how Casemiro is. If Casemiro is still showing that level, then you got to think to yourself, is this guy, the Brazilian age 30 curse lives on for many years to come. Many years to come. The German mixed sauce, Paulinho. Yes, Paulinho is an absolute... Watching this game, I'm still not impressed by Bayern. They can score as many goals as you want. As many goals as you want. But defensively in the midfield is a massive issue for Tuchel. One thing you would maybe expect with the Tuchel side is organization. Good defensively. It's none of that. This Bayern team cannot defend right now, and the midfield is getting bypassed like it's the Red Sea. So Tuchel's got to sort that out, but also that's why they need to get another midfielder. Or maybe Tuchel, you got Masrui, play him at right back, and then maybe put Leimer as the DM alongside Gimmick. Try that. Try that. Come on, man. Give Masrui a chance. Like, what does the guy have to do to get minutes? And if you're United and if you're Ten Hag, you should have really been just said, hey, guys, let's get the ball to Marcus Rashford and let's see how Conor Leimer can do against him. Didn't see much of Rashford in the second half. I got to be honest. Like, you don't want to just single out players, right? But the big players you want, you know, Onana made some good saves, a little bit sort of, maybe he was lost in confidence. But the Brunos, the Rashfords, you want these guys to step up in the second half. Obviously, Rashford got the assist. Didn't do as much. Bruno, okay, he got the assist to Casemiro for the third goal for the free kick. Those guys need to step up. When the team is going down, you need to step up if you're those two players. They didn't. But both teams are question marks. Okay, so this is a good question for everybody in the chat. Who do you have more question marks about? Do you have more questions about Bayern, or do you have more questions with Manchester United? I think United showed that, okay, there's just everything is now going wrong for this side. They can't get penalty calls. You know, Onana's making mistakes. Like, it just seems like the whole world is against United at the moment. But they did show some fight, which is, I think, a good thing. But still, they got to be defensively better. One thing that United were really good last season was defensively, they were super organized and they didn't concede a lot of goals. This season, what is that now? 3 against Arsenal, 3 against Brighton, and 4 against Bayern. That's 11 goals in 3 games. Has to be a lot better if you're Manchester United. But maybe you could just say, hey, they got no Aaron Wan-Bissaka, they got no Luke Shaw, they got no Varane. It's tough times for United and United fans. And Bayern, I'm still not sold by this team. I think they have a lot of improvement, but it's still early in the season, so I'm going to wait. But they must sign a midfielder in the January transfer window. That is the first thing. January 1st, boom, Balinia, done. You're now a Bayern player. That should be... Goretzka cannot be starting for this team anymore. I'm sorry. Gimmick, I don't know why people are harsh on Gimmick. Did you see that pass he gave to Matthias Tell? By the way, Matthias Tell is going to be a problem in the future. That finish, touch on the thigh, boom, sublime from Matthias Tell. Sublime. So these are the standings of Group A. Bayern are leading. Galatasaray, FC Copenhagen are tied for second. Manchester United. That game at Old Trafford between Man United and Galatasaray is now important. Because for Galatasaray, if you can get a win there, United are in a bit of trouble, people. Like, they still got to go away to Galatasaray, away to FC Copenhagen. So let's see. Yeah, people, give your thoughts. I'm going to head out soon. Luckily, the internet survived for a whole stream. Can you believe it, people? The internet survived. Shout out to Zahir, says, Tuchel will slot Rafael Guerreiro in the 6 once he is fit. He did that at Dortmund. Leopard don't change spots. True. Yeah, I could see that. Maybe But then my question to you is, Zahir, where's the defensive cover in that midfield? Where's the defensive cover? Bayern is midfield problem, and then I think they good. United, to be honest, I don't know. Mentality is terrible. Agreed. Big up to Elo, says United would have stood a better chance with Varane and Mount. Probably, of course. We could definitely say that. But I feel like it's just the entire thing with the whole club. I think it's just the mentality thing. Once this team go down, their heads drop. Even at 1-0 down, 2-0 down. Obviously, the mistake is a horrific mistake from Onana, but you got to respond. Tuchel took him off versus Leverkusen. He's still a manager regardless of not being in the dugout. Oh, yeah, 100%, of course. Nope, Luis, I have to head out, buddy, because I'm going to the Conference League game now for Hoik and Balk. Mike, on Ten Hag, it was an obvious tactic to attack Leimer. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it should have been. They should have done it more. When the transfer window opens, Bayern have 24 hours to sign him before I revolt. Shout out to Massey, Bayern fan in the house. Shout out to you. And shout out to everybody. Shout out to YG, says Casemiro destroying his age. I think it is. Casemiro just needs help. And I think he needs help. And yes, Kim Min-jae is great defender. I mean, do you really even blame the center backs? Okay. The first goal, deflection off Kim Min-jae. Second goal, Casemiro on the ground gets it shot off. Could have probably been defended better. And the third goal, I think it's a good free kick. But yeah, Bayern really, I think they got to get a lot better. Midfielders and defensively. Those are the key issues. The key issues has to be a lot better. No. Just wearing a Hoiko shirt Uruguay shirt for the stream, everybody. All right, people. But we will be back maybe Saturday, Sunday. Obviously, Sunday, we might have the live double pivot show because it's Derby Sunday. We got Le Classique. We got Ajax versus Feyenoord. We got North London Derby. And we got the Madrid Derby. Sunday is the Derby galore. I cannot wait to watch it. So, have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Remember to hit the like button. We can get up to 50 likes. And get your thoughts in the comments down below of any of the Champions League games. I'll try and respond to them. But have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. And the Champions League, back in 2 weeks. Adios, everybody.